up, Skyhawks? Welcome back to the Skyhawk Talk. I'm your host, Catherine Sweeney, and today I am here with the junior captain of the equestrian team here at Stonehill, Lauren Eager. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. Okay. If someone saw you at the barn versus on campus, what would be different?
I would be a lot more outgoing than if you see me walking around campus. I almost am just so much more comfortable there, and I'm always like, if I'm at my home barn, I'm more like apt to like help the little kids, tack up, like all these things, and I'm just way more outgoing and like would introduce myself to parents or like new girls there. Like the same thing at the barn at school, like I'm like, oh, hey, hi, I'm Lauren. Like, I'm on the equestrian team for the barn here. Like, it's much different. Whereas, like, you see me on campus and, like, I would just walk by and, like, give you a little wave. Like, I'm just much more open, I feel like.
So the barn is, like, your safe space?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's awesome. Mm-hmm. So you have a barn at your home?
Mm-hmm. I do. It's not at my house, but, like, it's a few towns away. I've been at this one for about 6 or 7 years now, I think.
Oh, yeah. That is so cool. So how many horses do you typically ride? Because I know you don't ride the same one every time.
Correct. So at school, we have 6 horses that we rotate through, and we'll ride kind of whichever one. They're all pretty awesome, so they're all for all skill levels, most of them. And so you kind of just rotate through. When I'm home, I ride. Right now, I'm riding about 1 to 2 of the same horses, but if my trainer needs me to ride another one, like I could be up to like 5 or 6 like different ones.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Going back, I know we were just saying the barn is like your safe space. Mm-hmm. Do you feel more like yourself at school or at home at your barn at home?
Honestly, I feel just about the same in both places. Like they're both great atmospheres, and coming to the barn here at school was so welcoming, and everyone was great.
How did you first get into riding?
My aunt and uncle, actually, they're kind of like my grandparents. They had horses growing up when they were younger, and my mom and her sisters never got into it, but they ended up getting me into it, so that I kind of just kept going from there. My aunt always like pushed me to ride. So
what do you remember about your first time riding a horse?
So I don't actually remember anything specific, but I remember the stories I've been told, which were that it was a pony ride at a fair, and I got on and I was walking, and I wanted to like lead myself around, and like the person's like, no, like you can't do that. So I just remember the stories being told about it.
From what you can remember from when you were younger, starting to get into riding and maybe starting to think of it more competitively, what was going through your mind? Like, what's the difference of just not being on a horse and being your element versus just like being at school and walking around on campus?
It's like you have like kind of like that connection with the horse. Like you're like, this is your partner for like what you're doing, whether it's like the team riding or like you're like riding for yourself for like specific competitions that aren't through the school. So it's just like, it's a completely different feel, like being up there. It's just
awesome. When did riding become more than just something you enjoyed doing and something you started seeing as you could be competitive and compete competitively and go to school for it?
Honestly, when I came to this new barn that I'm riding at back home, one of my coaches I had followed from our previous barn because they were closing down, and this trainer is amazing. The way she teaches and the way the opportunities she's given really transformed my riding from just like a little kid that's like just like a pony ride that you're just like riding around for fun, and like I got into it more competitively, and she could like see like future things. She had put me on like one of her really special horses that like only one girl usually rode, that was like her, like almost like her daughter. So like that, like the being able to be seen like through something else was able to like push me forward and be like, wow, like I could like continue this like in the future, like through college and stuff.
So she really saw something in you.
Yeah.
Oh, that must have boosted your confidence so much. Like, okay, I can actually do this.
Yeah, definitely.
That's awesome. So getting into why or how you got to Stonehill. What stood out to you the most about the equestrian training here when you were touring?
When touring, like, obviously our facilities aren't on campus. They're a little ways away, but I had reached out to the coach, and she had responded, our coach now, she responded back, and just, like, honestly, so she responded back, and on top of that, just through some crazy connections, like, the senior captain my freshman year coming in, I was able to talk to her going into the school year, and she kind of, like, prepped me through, like, what they do. Like, it's a little differently. Like, I showed, so it's IHSA for college, and there's a lower division for middle school and high school riders that I had shown at throughout my years. So she kind of walked me through, like, a little bit of the differences and, like, what the team does and, like, expectations and things like that. And she was just so nice and personable. And coming into, like, we always have a opening meeting, like, the beginning of the fall semester for, like, new girls that are, like, looking to try out and stuff. And when I came in for it, she was like, oh, hey, like, hi, I talked to you. And it was just, like, such a welcoming, opening atmosphere that, like, really drew me in.
That's awesome. So you were a criminology major. How important was the criminology program in your decision to come here?
It was really high. I definitely wanted, like, a school that, when looking through schools, I had two specific things. I needed a criminology program, and I wanted riding. And so looking through it, there was only, like, 5 or 6 schools that I had applied to, I had gotten into, and I had toured. The campus was just so beautiful. And the criminology program, I'm pretty sure, is ranked, like, really high.
Yeah, it's really good.
It's awesome. And so that really influenced my decisions. And when touring here, like, they kind of, like, talked about it a little more. Like, they have the adjuncts, which, like, have actual experience, and they aren't just professors. They do that as well. And that also really drew me in, along with the smaller class sizes. So you kind of can have, like, one-on-ones with the professor.
What do you want to do with your major?
I'm looking towards more federal-wise, like, work. Like, it's kind of, like, generic, but, like, FBI, like, Homeland Security, like, things up there, not just at, like, little town police officer level. Like, I'm looking, like, something a little bigger, like, maybe, like, the opportunities to, like, travel a little bit with it. So I couldn't really tell you specifically just yet what I want to do, but I know I want to do something in, like, organizations like that.
That would be so cool. Mm-hmm. You want to be like the top dogs.
Yeah, I do.
That would be sick. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you are balancing riding for Stonehill and competing at your home barn. Mm-hmm. What is that like mentally, trying to balance that?
It's honestly, it's a little difficult. I live in Connecticut, so it's like just about under 2 hours away. So it's a pretty easy drive, but having to, like, come back and forth, like, right now, I'm also prepping back home for a show with my barn that's going to be about a week, like, during the school year. And a lot of girls do it on the teams. They have bigger shows that they're competing and traveling to throughout the same season, which our coach is really flexible with that, because, like, it is like you're going home to, like, ride your own horse and show, which is different for riding at school, but it's really easy. The coach is very accepting and helpful and wants you to be able to ride here and at home at the same time, so it hasn't been too hard.
That's good.
So, yeah.
Is it a little difficult since you, like you said, you're under 2 hours away?
Mm-hmm. Not really. My schedule that I did with the classes really allow for it, and I usually, like, right now, I try to head home afterwards on Friday from practice, because it's kind of, like, on the way home, yeah. So it's not too bad.
Does riding in those two environments feel different?
They do. They're asking 2 different things most of the time, in a way. All the foundations are, like, just about the same, and it's really nice because our coach at school has these foundations that my trainer back home has with, like, the horses and how, like, kind of to ride them a little bit. They do have, like, slightly different teaching styles, which is not bad at all. Like, I love both of them so much. It's definitely a different environment. You're riding for school, and it's focusing on your body position and, like, how you look and, like, the fundamentals of, like, certain angles with your body and like your heels and your arms. And whereas at home, I'm working more on the horse and making the horse look pretty for like simple context. So it's a little different. So you don't have to worry so much about yourself at the same time. So it's a little different, but at the same time, I think they really help and balance each other out at the same time. So when I'm here at school, I'm focusing on myself. And when I'm at home, I'm focusing on the horse. So like when I like go into the show ring for school, which we haven't yet, but it'll just like kind of meld 2 and 2 together. So
gotcha. That's interesting.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of hard to explain when like you're not like also like riding horses at the same time. So I tried to like simple it down just a little bit because it can be complicated.
Yeah. So what is something people misunderstand about equestrian as a team sport?
So it is the team sport, whereas like I'm going to explain it a little bit more if that's okay.
Go for it.
So it is a team sport, but it's also individually at the same time. So while you're riding for the school and like the shows, you are gathering points for yourself. And if you're chosen by the coach, there's point riders. So if you're chosen by the coach, your points also count for the teams overall. So by the end of the show, like like Stonehill will gather, I'm going to use a random number, gathers like 28 points, and like those add up towards the end. So overall, those will keep adding up, and you want to have the highest amount of points because that means like you're leading the other schools in the region. Whereas individually it's great, but for the team wise, it's a little 2 and 2. We're showing against each other, but we're also not. It's kind of awesome because when the shows happen, each like team rider isn't usually shown against each other. It's just the way the classes usually tend to fall, which I think is pretty great. And the team atmosphere, you're always cheering each other on. You're like, oh my God, you did so good. Like, that was amazing. You looked good. The horse you got. I'm so excited for you. We understand what's happening for each other, and we're always encouraging someone. If they have a bad ride or something happens, like we're always picking each other up.
It's a really good environment.
It really is.
That's awesome. Mm-hmm. So how does well, never mind. You kind of just answered that. How does the team support each other when everyone's competing individually? You kind of just went through that.
We have buddies for show days. So like just to make sure like you have somebody that you can rely on every day. Like the team's always there no matter what. Like even if you have specifically one person that you're assigned, we have show buddies the night before, making sure each other are waking up and things like that. But the team's awesome. They're always there cheering you on. It's amazing.
That's a cool support system that you guys have, so you can keep each other accountable.
Yeah, just to make sure like they're getting up in the morning and like they're there. Or then like when you go into the ring, you can't have like 10 people with you. So like you have that one person to go in, make sure your boots are shiny, like just help you out, like adjust your stirrup length, things like that. So one of your favorite Stonehill memories was playing tic-tac-toe in the weight room. Mm-hmm. What does that memory say about the team culture? I think it really shows like kind of like us like showing at the same time. Like it's tic-tac-toe. We have 2 lines of people and we're running and we're putting like the weight bands on these cones, but we're cheering each other on the whole time. There's so much energy happening, but we're also cheering each other at the same time. It's awesome because like even at the end, like we're always cheering each other on no matter what. Like it's amazing.
So riding requires a lot of trust. Mm-hmm. How do you build that with a horse?
You kind of are just like soft. You want to get to know them. You don't want to like get on and be like, hey, like I'm here. Like we're going to do it this way. You kind of like try to figure them out just a little bit. Going into the show ring, it's a little difficult because you might be on a horse that you've never known before. But like you just like take it slow. Most of them have the same basic training, so you kind of know like what to ask and what to expect, and you just slowly build it up. Like if you're sitting on a horse for the first time, it could be a little nerve-wracking, like if you've never ridden before, but over time, like they're such gentle giants. Like it's really easy to trust them in my opinion.
Yeah. So I feel like I've seen in like shows or movies before, people are like, the horse can sense your emotions. Like if you're afraid, the horse will know. Is that true?
It is. So I just had practice last night and my muscles were tight. They're sore. It's just I've been riding a lot back home, and for the team, like my muscles are sore and tense, and like the horse can sense it, and so he's going faster and faster, like not on purpose, but like there's certain horses, most of them can all sense your emotions. Like if you're really nervous and like super tense, they're like, what's gonna happen? Like what's gonna get me? Like what's happening? But if you get on and you're calm and like relaxed, they hear just like, and take a big breath. Like especially if you do that on them, you can visibly feel them like just like comfort down, and like they're not as tense. You can feel it underneath you, and you can tell by their ears and everything. It's really cool.
That is really cool. So they're pretty smart animals.
Very, very smart.
Can you take me through what a typical practice looks like?
Right now we have some flat lessons and some jumping lessons just to make sure our horses are taken care of. Usually no matter what, we'll start off, we'll walk around, like we'll get our stirrups adjusted, like everything, and we'll start walking around. Then we'll do like a few stretches. We'll drop our stirrups. We'll walk around in half seat, which like helps our muscles get in, like mainly like our legs, so that their muscles are like where they should be and things like that. And then we'll start warming up at the trot, and then we'll do a few exercises as well, like drop our stirrups, go into our half seats, which, like I said, like helps your muscles. And then we'll take a walk break, go back to trot, and then we'll canter around a few times. And depending on, sometimes it can vary, like sometimes we'll have some pole work in there, which is just to help our minds and like the horses exercise, whereas you're not always having to jump. And then if we're having a jumping lesson, usually because our lessons have about 6 people in them all the time, we will like break it down, like 2 or 3 of us at a time will like go over a single jump to warm up the horses, and then we'll go through like a little course one by one for the girls that are jumping.
What do you specialize in doing?
For our show classes, I'm jumping in flat. So if you jump in the shows, you also have a flat class, okay. Whereas some girls are flat only.
What do you like doing best?
I like both, honestly. For school, I really like both. Like some horses are amazing, no matter what you get. So, all
right, this may be a silly question, but if you're going to riding for the first time and you don't know how exactly to like, you know, when they trot and you kind of bounce up with them, if you don't do that properly, does it hurt your butt?
No, it can just feel like you're getting jostled around. Like, so like the beginners, like we have our walk trot riders, which are the our low division. So like they're the beginners, because you need lessons like about 6 months experience. So like some girls have never sat on a horse before, and so we have to teach them from the ground up, like the foundations of that. But the bouncing of it, usually we try to help. So like it doesn't really hurt. It just feels really weird that you're getting bounced around all the time. And some horses feel like a couch, and like you're just like sitting there, and like some you can't even feel that like they're moving really like strongly. Like it's
So do you have really strong legs?
Yes.
Because you gotta horses are tall animals. You gotta pull yourself up there, and then you're also using your legs the entire time when you're riding the horse.
We are.
Wow.
A lot of horses you need your legs a lot. Some horses, not for the division that we ride in at school, but my barn back home does Western riding. So a lot of the horses are called spur trained. So you can use your feet the entire time to have them steer, change like the speed you're going at. Like you wouldn't even need to touch your hands. Some of them can just go around without a bridle and reins.
So that's when you're using your foot and the horse's side, right?
Yes.
How do you maneuver how fast it's going and how to turn and stuff like that? If you can try and explain.
Yeah, for that you would so normally like to ask them to trot, like you'll squeeze them forward, and both legs you'll squeeze them forward and they'll move up, and the more pressure you add, the more like speed they'll go. So like if you're like holding on and like keep asking, they'll go really fast. And to canter, like there's specifics depending on which way you're going, you'll use your left or your right leg, and they'll pick up that lead.
Okay.
Just a little complicated, but, and then if like you're not using your reins, which I was explaining a little before, to ask them to slow down, you'll squeeze both legs at the same time a little more, and they'll like slow down, and some will even stop. I can't explain it that great because I'm not like a pro at that. At the same time, I only like dabble in it a little bit back home.
Okay. How do you go about jumping with the horse?
Like, what do you mean? Like
when
just,
you're coming up to the fence,
Okay,
and the horse is about to jump, like how do you mentally prepare to go up with this huge horse into the air and land?
Yeah. So a lot of it is when you're going up to it, I'm gonna say like you have like, here's your jump here. You can tell when the horse is moving, like their front leg goes out a little farther, and when it goes forward, that's called a stride.
Okay.
And you'll kind of count to the fence. It's like if you're walking and like there's a big pole in the ground and you're not looking at it, like you'll like adjust your step without realizing to make sure you don't trip over it.
Okay.
So that's kind of like the horse in general, but you also help them just a little bit. So you're kind of counting in your head like 1, 2, 3, like with the movement of the horse. And then once you get to the jump, you always want to have your leg on so they're continuing to go forward. And you kind of let go of their faces just a little bit to be like, yeah, go over this. And usually you release a little bit. So you kind of come up in the saddle and you lean forward a little bit. Okay. And like, so you're not sitting down the whole time. Because if you sit down the whole time, you'll kind of like just get bumped up a little bit and it's uncomfortable and doesn't feel great.
Interesting.
And then once you go back to the ground, like you start over the same process and like you rebalance and you'll count your strides again when you're going to the next fence, and then you'll steer depending on where you're going and stuff like that.
I want to ride a horse now.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
I'm so interested. Like there's so much that really goes into it. Oh my gosh. Now I'm coming by the barn after this.
Awesome.
How do you reset after a ride that doesn't go the way that you wanted?
Usually, like nowadays, I will, usually I'll talk with my coach and be like, what can I do better? Like, what's going on? Usually, like, midway through, I'll be like, I'm trying to do this, like, what I think you're asking, and it's not working, and she'll explain it better, and I'll apply that, and I'll feel that, and, like, I kind of try to fix it just a little bit before I, like, get off. But if I'm in the show ring and, like, obviously you can't get back on the same horse and, like, go fix what you just did wrong, I'll talk with my coach again and, like, we'll use that to apply it to the next time I ride or show.
Interesting. Okay. So you've told me that you're motivated by making your family proud. How do they influence your drive?
They're really supportive, honestly. They're amazing, and I love them so much. They always want the best for me, no matter if it's like taking a step back from something or like taking some time or going somewhere, like wanting to go to the show. Like they're so supportive. Like my mom has been to almost all of my shows except like 4 or 5 or so within the 15 or 16 years that I've been riding, which is like a lot of shows, and it's amazing. And then some of my other super close family, they also kind of come to the shows. So they're always just so supportive for like riding, and like outside of riding for school, they're so supportive. Like I'll call my mom, my uncle, my aunt, like I'll call them with like any questions I have just about life, and they'll walk me through it or they'll help me out. Like they're just so supportive, and like I just want to like make sure they're proud and happy, which they always are, which always wants me to be better. So
how does it feel when you're at a competition and then you look over and you see your family there?
It's a really good feeling. I've a little story of when I was at a really big horse show a few years ago. My mom had school and I was showing on a Friday, which is like a little rare, but it was in the summer, and she had professional development for like the teachers, so she couldn't come. So my aunt and uncle were coming down from Boston to the coast of Connecticut to show, and like they weren't going to make it, and I was really nervous and I was really upset, like, oh my god, they're not going to be there, like they're coming all this way and they're just going to miss it. But I was like 2 people out from going into the ring, and I look over and I see them standing there, and I was just so happy and like I could like calm down a little bit and be like, it's all going to be okay.
Yeah.
Like it's just such a comforting factor. And if like a bad ride happens, I know they're always there to like give me a hug or be like, but I thought you did so good. You looked amazing from my view, even though sometimes they don't really know what's happening. But even still, I'm like, that means a lot.
That's awesome. When things get tough, what keeps you grounded, whether that's your family or something else?
I would say my family's always there, but my friends are also as well. They're both family and friends are such a great support system for me. I talk to my family a lot. Like I have my aunt and uncle who they moved to South Carolina, but they're kind of like my grandparents. I talk to her, like I try to talk to her at least once a day. And it just sit there, or like I'm doing homework and she's just sitting on FaceTime. Like I grew up such a family person that like I'm always talking to them and they just keep me grounded. Whether I'm having a bad day and I just need to rant about it, or I'm having such a good day and I want to tell them about it. Like they're always there for me.
Oh, that's so sweet. All right, some life outside the barn questions. Yeah. So you ski.
I do.
Is that something that you do to relax or compete?
Honestly, just to have fun, like go do something different. I've been on skis for as long as I can remember. I always go with my aunt and uncle, so my mom's sister and brother-in-law, like they're really close. So we're always like try to go take ski trips like 1 to twice a year, sometimes more. It's just to go have fun and like go do something different. It's a lot of fun out there.
Skiing's awesome.
It really
love
is.
Skiing. Are there any skills from skiing that have translated over into riding or vice versa?
Honestly, I think a little bit of it is like the balance of it. So like when I'm skiing, if there's like a bump or something that I hit, like I feel like I have really good balance, even though walking, sometimes I can't walk in a straight line normally, like I sway, but like skiing and on a horse, I feel like I have such great balance, and like the leg muscles that I have from riding also like kind of go to like skiing. So I feel like that also helps a little bit.
Yeah. What does a perfect day off look like for you?
Honestly, spending it at the barn. Or like just sitting on the couch watching TV or reading a book or spending it with friends. Like honestly, I'm always at the barn.
Wow. All right. How has balancing academics and writing shaped you?
Honestly, I've done it for so long. Once I could drive, like from high school, I'd leave school and I'd go straight to the barn and I'd change and I'd go ride and then I'd help out there. I feel like it's helped a lot with like time management skills and also like meeting so many people and just like sometimes being put out of your comfort zone to do something or like ride a different horse that'd be like, well, like just be like, wow, like I can ride this horse, or like they want me to, like kind of things like that. Like it just shows that like you can do hard things, even like figuring something out on a horse, like you can get through it and there's always something, like there's always an answer to something.
Yeah.
So I feel like that kind of like transpires, and like balancing riding in school has always just been like something I do. Like not doing it is kind of like weird.
Yeah. Has studying criminology and psychology changed how you think about competition or pressure?
A little bit. Our new barn that we're at is actually a Stonehill alumni, and she does sports psychology, so she's talked to us a few nights before shows. So like kind of applying that to like what I've learned in my psychology classes, along with like just how like I used to deal with it. Like want to focus, like pick like a bad thing that you've done when you rode and then figure out how to fix it and then move on. Like don't dwell on it. And I've started to apply that a lot more, and it's definitely helped.
What do you hope people remember about you as a teammate?
I hope that they remember that I've always been like somebody they could turn to if they have questions, or like if they have something they need to share, like I'm here for them, and that I'm just opening and like I'm there, and I'm like I laugh with them. Like I'm just somebody to be there for you.
You definitely seem like you are. So
I
think you will leave that behind.
Thank you so much.
All right, my last question for you. What is one piece of advice you would want to give your freshman year self?
Be more outgoing. Like, just don't be afraid to be yourself. Don't be so quiet. Like, just speak your mind a little more.
I like that. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Thank you.
And thank you guys for watching. We will see you in the next one.